All right, so last time we talked about all the amazing things generative AI can do. But have you ever wondered how it actually learns? Like, what's really going on under the hood? Well, the answer comes down to one single thing, and it's the most important ingredient in all of AI: data. So today, we're going to dive deep into why the quality of that data, the sneaky biases it can hide, and how we protect it are all so incredibly critical.
Okay, here's a really simple way to wrap your head around this. Think of an AI model as a super high-performance car engine, right? Well, data is the fuel. It's that simple. Without any fuel, that fancy engine is just a lump of metal. It's not going anywhere. And if you put cheap, dirty, contaminated fuel in it, the engine's going to sputter, choke, and probably break down. But if you give it that premium, clean, high-quality fuel, oh, it's going to run like a dream. Smooth, powerful, and it can take you incredibly far. This is honestly the perfect metaphor for how AI works.
So, when we keep saying fuel or data, what are we really talking about? Well, at its very core, AI learns from examples. That's it. And all those examples, that's the data. And you know what? It can be pretty much anything a computer can understand. We're talking about the words in every book ever written, the tiny pixels that make up a photograph, all the numbers in a massive spreadsheet, even something as simple as where you click on a website.
And this data, it comes from everywhere. I mean, AI developers are gathering just unbelievable amounts of it. They're pulling public text from all over the internet, websites, books, you name it. They're using these huge libraries of images that all have little captions describing what's in them. Companies might use their own internal stuff, like customer records or system logs. And then you've got all the sensor data from things like your phone's GPS or a fitness tracker. So here's the key thing to remember. AI isn't magic. It doesn't just invent knowledge out of thin air. It learns by finding patterns in the data it's fed. That's it.
Okay, so that leads us right to our next big point, the quality of the data. Because think about it, if the AI is only as smart as the examples it learns from, well then the quality of that fuel pretty much decides everything about how well it's going to perform.
You know, there's this old saying in computer science that has never been more true than it is today. And it's super simple. Garbage in, garbage out. Seriously, that's the whole principle. If you feed an AI a bunch of junk, flawed, inaccurate, or just plain wrong data, you just can't expect it to spit out anything useful or reliable. What you get out is a direct mirror of what you put in.
And you can see the difference laid out pretty clearly here. On one side, you've got high-quality data. That means it's accurate. It actually reflects the real world. It's complete, so there aren't huge missing chunks of information. It's consistent, so you're not getting conflicting facts. And maybe most importantly, it's relevant to the job the AI is supposed to be doing. Then, on the other side, you've got the low-quality stuff. It's inaccurate. It's incomplete, it's old and outdated, or it's just full of random mistakes, what we sometimes call noise. This right here is why you can have two AI systems that use almost the exact same code but give you totally different results. The secret sauce? It's almost always the quality of the data.
But you know, there is an issue that goes way deeper than just messy or incomplete data. It's a really serious problem. What happens when the data itself is, well, unfair? This is where we get into the huge topic of bias. And if we go back to our car analogy, this is like knowingly pumping contaminated, toxic fuel into that beautiful engine.
See, because an AI learns from the world as it is, or maybe more accurately as it has been, it can accidentally learn all of our own human biases and prejudices. And this has led to some really troubling results. For example, there have been facial recognition systems that are way less accurate for people with darker skin. Why? Because the data they were trained on just wasn't diverse enough. Or think about AI hiring tools that started automatically penalizing certain groups of people, just because the AI learned from decades of biased hiring decisions made by humans. The AI is just doing its job, finding patterns, but the problem is the patterns themselves are fundamentally unfair.
So this is super important to understand. Often, the algorithm, the code, isn't the bad guy here. It's actually doing its job perfectly. The real root of the problem is the skewed, unbalanced, and biased data it learned from. And that means if we ever want to build AI that's fair and ethical, we absolutely have to start by fixing the data itself. We have to clean it up and be really careful about what we're feeding these systems.
All right, so we've talked about bias, but there's another huge responsibility that comes with all this data, and that's privacy. I mean, think about it. So many modern AI systems need massive amounts of our personal information to work well. Everything from our private messages and our location history to even our health records. So handling this very sensitive fuel safely, it's not just a nice to have, it's completely non-negotiable.
And the good news is there are some pretty solid techniques for managing these risks. One is called anonymization.
That's where you basically strip out all the obvious personal details, like your name or your address. Then there's something called pseudonymization, which is a little different. It replaces your identifiers with random codes. That way, the data can still be analyzed for patterns, but no one knows it's you. And of course, on top of all that, you have really strict data protection laws, like GDPR over in Europe, that lay down the law on how our personal data can even be collected and used in the first place.
So, where do you fit into all of this? Well, you might not realize it, but every single time you interact with an AI, you're not just a consumer. You're actually a contributor. Think about it. When you fix a typo that autocorrect got wrong, or you mark an email as not spam, or you give a thumbs up to a movie recommendation, you're giving feedback. You're providing fresh, new data that helps make the whole system better for everyone. You're actually part of this constant, ongoing data loop.
Okay, let's step back for a second and pull all of this together. Looking at the big picture, really understanding the role of data is key to understanding AI itself. This isn't just some technical detail that only the programmers need to worry about. It really affects everything, how these systems work and the impact they have on all of our lives.
So, if there are just a few key things you walk away with today, I hope it's these. Number 1, data is the fuel for AI. It's absolutely essential. Number 2, good data leads to good AI, and bad data, well, that leads to unreliable results. Simple as that. Number 3, biased data is a massive ethical challenge because it creates AI that can actually make unfairness in the world even worse. And finally, number 4, protecting our privacy isn't just some extra thing to worry about. It's a core ingredient for building AI that we can actually trust.
Okay, so now that we get the fuel, the next logical question is, where is this car actually going? Well, in our next explainer, that's exactly what we're going to explore. We'll be looking at the real-world impact AI is having in huge areas like healthcare, finance, and education. We'll even talk about how you can spot responsible AI out there in the wild. I really hope you'll join us for that.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Knowledge Equity Partners is a multilingual channel, and what we love to do here is share contemporary and practical knowledge on all sorts of topics. Really, anything that can help make your daily life a little more effective and efficient.
And listen, if you find our content valuable, we'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe to Knowledge Equity Partners. That way, you'll get notified whenever we post our daily videos. And of course, don't forget to like this video, share it, and help spread this valuable, practical knowledge with your family, your friends, and your community. Let's all work together to keep that quest for knowledge always high.